Hi, good evening, everyone. Welcome back to the channel. So I said 9:15, it's 9:12. Wow, we're 3 minutes early. Amazing. So in this one, we're going to talk about all things ULTY. I have been seeing a different reality, apparently, than what other people are seeing. So I want to kind of calibrate things, and we're going to have just a free form discussion with the audience. And I want to know you all's thoughts on why a lot of you think ULTY is so great. I'm not saying it's terrible, but I'm not saying it's like the best fund known to mankind either. What I've been hearing since the New York trip, I've been hearing a lot of different things that it's basically a hedge fund within an ETF. So we're going to look at all the pros and cons and certainly get to the bottom of whether or not it is a truly great ETF. So with that being said, let's start out by looking at it on the YieldMax website. Let's look at all the trades and stuff. Like I said, we're going to do an in-depth analysis here. So let's see here. Here we go. All right. Okay. So as you all know, we go to basically it's the one Ultra ETF, like a MIC Ultra, right? Ultra. So he says ULTY is the Bitcoin of income ETFs. Interesting theory. Okay, so the distribution is 84.23% annualized. It just recently, so it pays a weekly dividend. The NAV versus the market, it seems to be beating the market over the last month. Over 3 months, it's trailing. And in 6 months, it's also trailing as well. So, and then over the past year, compared to the market, it's also trailing a bit as well. It was launched February 28th of 24. So it's just over a year old. It's like almost a year and a half old. As far as the distributions, since it switched to weekly, it's been paying between 8 and 11 cents per week. When it was monthly, it was paying 47 cents, then 54 cents, and it was higher as things went on. Like early on, it was paying up to $1.42. Here's what I saw. So this is what I want you all, obviously correct me, because you all are the geniuses, and I'm just, I guess, new to this ULTY game here. So what I'm going to show is a chart of what it's actually done, and I want you all to tell me where I might be flawed in my thinking or my logic. So I'm going to go to Seeking Alpha real quick, and let's look at the performance of it over the past year. And I know dividend investors, we don't necessarily look at total return, because if we did, we might realize that Meta and like Apple and the underlyings actually, in terms of total return, actually outperform. So I know we kind of ignore that. So price return, of course, price return we completely ignore because it's not even factoring in the dividend yield. All right, so let's do this here. And again, total return, I think, even Jay and company would agree. Like, it's obviously the holy grail of investing. And the underlyings, for the most part, like always beat their YieldMax counterparts. I've said that since day one. Hey, welcome. How have you been? You've changed your name a couple of times. I can't remember who you were exactly, but yeah, just fresh from the gym, actually. I went longer than 10 minutes today. All right, so ULTY. Why ULTY no go up was one of the main questions we were getting like a year ago. So, all right, folks, here's what I see. And I want all of you all geniuses out there to correct me where I'm mistaken. So this is what I see. Not being a naysayer, not being an anti-high yield dividend person, but I see a fund that has gone from $20 a share, February 26th, down to $6.40. And I see that as a massive drop. And that's obviously price return. So I know that's the first thing you all are going to say. So the next thing, then, we adjust for that. We go to total return, because obviously in price return, we're basically, in the tank here, 67% down. So if we look at total return, factoring in our dividends, we're up 16.76% in total return. Okay, so that's average. Look at the S&P right next to it. And again, not being a naysayer, but I'm just really trying to figure out the greatness of this fund. I know it's there. I maybe just haven't seen it yet. So I know in this video I'm going to find it. Oh yeah, I think I had to block you one time because of saying stuff like that. But that is funny, just between you and me. You were worried about me, huh? What other channel? You said I went on like some fat person's channel. Like what? I don't know what other channel that was, but you said you were worried about me, huh? You know, like I mean, I do drink, but like before that last drink, I had gone. I got to think about this. I had gone for like a whole day or so without a drink. So that is a streak. Oh God, were you talking about the same? He'll like to see that. Um, okay, so where are we? Okay, over a year. Well, okay, I guess it's beating the S&P over a year. So there you go. Hey, ULTY, let me put on my ULTY hat. Woo, ULTY. It's beating the S&P over a year. I'll give you that. And it's actually trouncing it over the year to date. Okay, so I stand corrected. ULTY is making a bit of a comeback. Oh, here we go. Chris Durant, does that include reinvestment in the total return and then compounding of the dividends? It's with dividends reinvested. Hey, you know what? So here's the funny thing, Piper. I and my Schwab account, I'm sitting on probably 35,000 and profits that I can't close because of my work stupid pre-clearance policy. So I'm annoyed with that right now. Otherwise, I would lock them in. You got to look when it changed to weekly. That is actually, there's been a difference because the NAV has stopped. So what I said in the first few minutes of the video was just me kind of playing devil's advocate here. So I stand corrected on this. I see now, since, like you said, since it's gone weekly, the NAV has stabilized and it's actually beating the S&P. So it is maybe, you know, a monster of an ETF, as they say. So there you go. Great point. Great point. Okay. So notice that, right? So I got the bad news out of the way first, and it's good from here on. It's beating the S&P significantly. This is something I should have pointed this out the other day. We are beating the S&P over the last 6 months in terms of total return. I tend to still look at price. That's just my philosophy as an investor. That's my habit. I'm looking at like price return, and I see this basically. But when you factor in the weekly dividends, it has made a huge difference. So let's look at the holdings as well, because the holdings are a big part of this. So it's fairly balanced out. I've heard a lot of you say it's like a hedge fund within an ETF. So we've got a big weighting in technology. We've got another solid weighting in financials. We've got communication, utilities, healthcare, industrials, and consumer cyclical. So it is a fairly, I know I made it, right? It's amazing. But at least when I'm at midnight, it's always 9 p.m. on the West Coast. Oh, look at Mustang MWS with the big fat New York Yankees championship ring. Did you use your dividends to buy that, or did you actually win that? ULTY 1.0. Oh, we've got time periods here. Inception to March 2025, ULTY 2.0, April 2025 plus. Prospectus change has helped it. ULTY 2.0 is showing steady upside with nice distributions. I am in agreement. The weekly dividend change has been a game changer for this fund. We might even have to call it ULTY 3.0 before long. All right, so that's the weightings of it. So like some of you say, hedge fund within an ETF. So what we've got American government obligations, Robinhood markets, AST Space Mobile, and they rebalance this over time. I forget the frequency. Rod would know. But they do rebalance this maybe weekly, monthly, something like that. Upstart Holdings, Oklo. These are good stocks. You know, Oklo is one I looked into recently. So let's see. Let's see how Oklo is doing real quick. $67. I think I got someone in this the other day. Yeah, it was a good buying point. I knew it. I forgot about it. It's back up to $67. Anyway, these are all good ones. These underlyings are all very good ones. Mara, AppLovin, Strategy, Reddit, Palantir, Oklo, etc. And like Rod has said before, what's really amazing as an options trader, you can look at these trades and actually study them and make yourself a better options trader. Who do we have here? Harold Allenberg with the like accent mark over the A. Went all in on ULTY. Well, I'm just right behind you. I mean, I'm sure after this video, I'm going to be convinced. I should even be wearing a ULTY hat. All right. So let's so that covers basically 41.25% of the holdings. There's 113 total. The other 58.75. Here's the funny thing. Normally, on a site like this, when you're just looking at an average fund, you're only going to see this on a site like this. But because YieldMax is so transparent, we can just go over here and basically see every single holding, which is awesome. Not every fund company does that. I've got to give them credit. Not every fund company does that. So I really admire the transparency. So if we go over here, we can see the distribution history. And then it became weekly in March. That was perfect timing, honestly. And I've always said Jay's timing on a lot of this stuff is really good, because March was like close to the bottom of the market with the tariffs and all that. So here in just a second, we're going to see more information. So the expense ratio is 1.24%. Here's the holdings again. Here's some of the options trades they have open. Now what I'm going to have to do, because my Excel, guess what happened to Coach? So I was using my student Excel from my master's program, and then they shut my email down on me, and I lost Excel on all my devices. So I had to go buy a Groupon deal, and hopefully I'll be able to get it back up and running soon. But what I'm going to have to do for this one, to make sure I give you all fine folks the information you so deserve, I need to download this one and paste it into a Google Sheet. So I'm going to download them all. This is going to be a little bit tricky. It's going to open in a text file. And then, oh, here we go. And then I can just share it, paste it in a Google document, basically. Actually, because I have the Apple version, I just got a new MacBook. By the way, I don't know if I told Rod that, but I remember a year ago we were talking about how I should get a new MacBook. Well, I finally did, because my old one crashed like a week later. It was perfect timing. A week after the last one, the MacBook Air crashed, I got this new one. And I needed it anyway because the sound was out in the MacBook Air and stuff. All right, so we've got that. So let's do a Google Sheet now. Google Sheet, here we go. Now this was actually a lot easier than I expected it to be. All right, so what we are sharing here, we are sharing, who is this? Assets and Income TV. Oh, are you a channel too? Is this what we call clout chasing? I'm just kidding. You're probably bigger than me. Most channels are bigger than me, to be honest. Some of the holdings are great. Just one example, Mara now has a higher implied volatility than MSTR because it has a smaller market cap. Make that make sense. So higher implied volatility because of a smaller market cap. Oh, that means more people can trade it, and that means it's more volatile, basically. Well, you know what? Since Alex Mityav likes Mara, I like it as well, too. Yes, but you know me. Oh, I met you. We met. I lose track of all the people I meet. Were you in New York? I feel embarrassed. I should remember. Were you one of the were you from England? Oh, on Discord. What are you? What's your name on my Discord? I see your picture, but I can't tell. Anyway, you'll have to clear it up for me. Help clear up the mystery for the coach here. By the way, I'll show you all something really cool in a second here. It'll be bonus content. If you all focus through the boring content here, I'll show you all something really cool. Remind me in case I forget. Okay, so these are option trades. These expire Friday, AAOI. So what they did here, this is Applied Optoelectrics. They have a call at $31, a put at 24, a call at 30, and a put at 24. So that's a decent spread. And then AMD, they've got a call at 150. Let me do what Rod does here. Actually, let me see. Let me add in my 2 cents on their trades here. All right, so AMD. Funny thing, I'm not trading in my own options trades. I'm not trading the stocks, but I'm trading the underlying ETFs. Try a bull put spread. I saw the Wall Street Bull in New York. It will change your life. Can you give me an example? So I put my initials on the bull and I spread out the T and the B. Actually, I'm sorry, the T and the H and the B. Does that count as a bull put spread? Oh shit, I just lost 2 people. I better get serious. Serious again, recalibration. Here we go. Okay, put on my professorial hat now. Let's see. So we've got we tire on dividends and we got retire on dividends. That's funny, like a play on names there. Apparently he's a fan. He's such a fan, he copied the name, basically. All right, so let me put on my thinking cap here and analyze. All right, so they sold. Well, let me see. Okay, this is a call at 150, so that's definitely way in the money because they're at 160. So they have a call at 160 and a call at 165. I would venture to say this is a decent spread, like when it was opened, because AMD has been on a tear. So now these calls, they're going to have to roll these calls, right? Because they're in the money. So basically, the shares. Now, one thing Jay has said in an interview before is that they actually have a little bit of market power. They're able to execute, like, whereas you and me trade options and we pay transaction fees on each trade, which differ from broker to broker. Jay and the big fund managers and the institutions are able to get some scalability and some lower costs on the trades because they're such big entities, basically. All right, so this was the price here, the market value, the weightings, net assets, so on and so forth. So I would say this trade looked good like a month ago, but this is definitely in the money now. So I would say they either have to roll that one, and even the 160 is in the money. So what do we think? Are they going to roll this or what? And then App Lovin seems like a ripoff of the McDonald's. I'm loving it. So I am coming around on ULTY, just so you all know. I'm not completely sold yet. I'm almost as good of a comedian as I am a coach. Sometimes I think it's in the opposite order. I've heard I'm funnier, but my sense of humor is an acquired taste. He says he's sure he is. So NVDL, sell at put. See, I could tell you already started drinking because you're slurring your words again. Sell at put at, you mean sell a put, presumably. Sell a put at 75, and then on the same chain. See, now we're getting into chains and stuff. This is all over my head. You buy a put at 70. Let me try to simplify that again here. Sell a put at 75, and then on the same chain you buy a put. All right, so what's the benefit of that? You're selling the put for the premium, and then you're buying the put, so there's a spread you're collecting. The capital you need is far less to sell the puts when you have the downside protection. Ah, you're right. You're right. So here's a question then. See, I tend to be a gambler, so if I start doing this, I could do a lot more trades then, is what you're saying. Let's practice one. Why don't we? Is everybody having fun with this, or should we go practice something? I know the moment I talk about how to make $300,000 trading options, I'll lose half of you. You all would rather make 10 cents in dividends than learn how to make 300,000 trading options. So that's what I'm afraid of. Like, I would love to teach you how to make 300,000, but you'd rather collect your 10 cents a week in ULTY. So, hey, it's Blake. Glad to see you stream early enough I can catch a few minutes. Yeah, it was, I'm trying to get earlier, you know, because it's not a lot of the audience is there at midnight, which is 9 p.m. Pacific time. All right, so we'll look at that. Hey, wow, we're getting the whole band back together here. Welcome. I swear your last name sounds like a jewelry store. It's like Weingarten Jewels. All right, enough jokes. So App US, App Lovin. So this is a put call. How about a straddle? I don't hear anybody talk about straddles. Okay, 375, 380. I'm not going to look at all of these. I'll just look at a few. So this is App Lovin, ticker symbol APP. What a great ticker. I bet a lot of companies wanted that one. Okay, so in June, we were at 417. We've dropped on this one. You know, I might actually just start wheeling some of the stocks. This is why I think you all really, some of you really like ULTY, because you like wheeling the stocks that ULTY is in, right? So this is a good one. I think this has some upside because it's been so volatile, basically. ChatGPT, which I should start using. Oh, I haven't asked it when I'll be a millionaire. That's better than the advanced equipment. Let's see. That's interesting. Actually, I think I don't know if I broke this news yet, but because of my options trades, I might have just pushed myself over that threshold. He says exactly. Oh, wait. Start by talking to them about selling covered calls on their shares, ease them into options. But some people, they don't get excited at covered calls because it caps that upside. So maybe I will. We'll see. Exactly. Still last bedtime though. Oh, past. Oh, wow. God, I could just never imagine going to bed at 9. I couldn't fall asleep. I would just sit there and like want to like watch TV or something. Just my personality is just too high strung for it. Anyway, let's look at a few more, then we'll do some example trades here. So Coinbase. Ooh, I haven't looked at Coinbase in a while. Let's check that one. COIN 410. This one has had like from from June to July. Hold on. Wow, we are up 70% in like a month. All right, so these calls, they've been rolling, obviously. So that's the key. Harvest as much premium as you can, then roll. Then they've got FSLR. So all right, so I am more of a believer in ULTY. I'm not going to say it's the greatest fun since sliced bread, but I'm more of a believer now. OKLO, that's a good one. Puts at 55. They should realize all of that. Okay, these are, honestly, looking at these can give us good trade ideas too. What's this Nuscale? Nuscale, ticker symbol SMR. Let's see here, SMR. New scale. My hater will say he can't even pronounce. I still find it funny because I have yet to get to think of one example where the Black-Scholes model has helped me on my options trades, and I've over 208,000 in profit for the year. So let's see here. Mr. Weingarten, the jeweler, says, I just gave it my current portfolio value. Oh, you got to do all of that. See, my dad would be like, oh, I don't want to share all that with the internet. My average dividends per month, which I reinvest all of. Oh, you do? You reinvest all the dividends, huh? And told it what I contribute to the portfolio additionally, and that's what it calculated. Interesting. Yesterday I backed up the truck. Really? Maybe it's a buying point. I mean, maybe you guys are going to talk me into buying more now. Interesting. Some people get mad if you dare say you sell out of any yield max, but I'll have to consider a rebalance. All right, so that's that. Let's see. New scale. I was going to look at new scale for a second. 4683. Another good one. Wow. Since April. Wow, this is amazing. See, I feel like, okay, here's one that they're in, okay, and it's up 231%. So why is the price action on ULTY? Why is ULTY not even higher? I got to be a critic here. I got to be honest. That's my honest opinion. SMR here, which they're wheeling, basically, right? That's a percentage of the portfolio's holdings, and it's up like 250% since April. So I still feel like ULTY should be up higher. Tempest AI, that's another good one. We're having a big AI revolution right now. Oh, Tesla, our favorite. VRT. All right, so here's what we're going to do. We're going to end on an example option trade here. Let's see what Piper's saying here. So believe it or not, since my audience has pretty much already taught me everything I know, they can do an encore and teach me even more. So Piper here, you may not know, but I got to give him some credit. I got to shout out him and two of the other, I call them the Three Stooges. They have refined my options knowledge to where I'm making the money I'm making now. I knew about options before, but my trading was just very inconsistent until I truly mastered the wheel strategy. And I've got to give these guys a lot of credit. And now he's teaching me something else. What he just talked about, the bull spread. And I know all this stuff because I had to memorize it for tests and stuff in school. Bull put spread. Okay, so let's do an example here like he just talked about. We will end on this note here. See, I'm talking options. I've already ran off 15 of you. That's what happens. Be very careful what details you give to an LLM. They save your questions. See, that's exactly what my dad would say. That was another huge motivator. Also, I know there's a Weingarten Realty, but don't know about jewelers. I have some jewelry, like my $sign glasses. Okay, let's go over here. Let's do an example trade. The portfolio is doing real well. Trade options, share this tab. Okay, so he mentioned, for some reason it defaults to an account that I don't have any money in. That's weird. I opened up like 5 accounts, but I only have 2. Oh, Rob Smith, now it's a party. Remember the days of only Tesla and no ARK? That's when I started covering these. He remembers. He's an OG. He remembers when I finished my MBA. That's awesome. Epstein didn't kill himself. Probably not. Anyway, Coach, I put you on big TV. I'm on prime time now. You want me to be even bigger? Watch this. You got my whole face. Now, this normally costs extra, by the way. Have 200 people watching you. Most of them don't speak English. What do they speak? I'll say hello in their language. What's their language? I'm assuming based on your last name, it's some kind of Russian or Slavic language. So please tell me. I'd be happy to, since you got 200 of them, make sure they all subscribe to me, by the way, and smash that like button. Hey, it's Mr. Kwan. How are you? Good to see you. I didn't think you came onto YouTube. Okay, so Ukraine, forgive my ignorance, but do you all speak, like, it's not Russian, is it? Hold on. Let me look up. Let me see here. I'm not going to embarrass myself and sound it out. Oh, it is Ukrainian. Okay. All right. So let me look up this here. All right. Let's do English. Give me a second here. I got to do this. So let's see. English to Ukrainian. Ooh, with the font and stuff. I don't know if I could say it looks like Privet. Is that hello? Privet. Interesting. All right, let's do this now. Now, we tire on dividends is fluent in Ukrainian, so I should have just asked him. All right, how about this one? Przyjemno poznajomcia. Nice to meet you. For all 200 of you. And I even gave you my full face, too. Let's see. Blake Downer knew we could find you here. You love Yield Max. You probably wear a Yield Max Speedo. They didn't give us the Speedo in New York, but they did give us other clothing. Greetings. Okay. All right. We are going to do a example options trade. And wow, we held on to over 40 of you. So there's hope yet that you all actually want to learn a skill and not just collect dividends. I love that. All right. Because I got to say, it is a little disheartening when, like, I can talk about a 10-cent ULTY dividend and I get like 1,000 views, and I talk about how to make hundreds of thousands in options, and then I get like in the 3 triple-digit views. You know, it's like if it were me, like, I'd be like, no, I want to learn that. I want to learn that skill. Okay, so Piper was talking about NVDL. I know we're completely off topic here, but this is like after hours. By the way, the funny thing, none of you reminded me, but luckily I remembered. The funny thing I was going to show you all, it's in Discord here. So Sylvia of Defiance today, she went on Charles Payne, and she sort of, you could say, gave a shout out to me. So I had Fox Business on this afternoon. All of a sudden I see her on Charles Payne's show, and then the caption says, "Put me in, coach." I'm like, oh, wow, like she's giving a shout out to me because I go by the coach. So I just thought that was cool. I thought you all would like that. All right, back to trading now. Okay, so let's see. Go over here. Smash the like button. Absolutely. Smash it. There will be AI pictures of me doing funny things with this tomorrow. All right, share screen. I got to remember what he said now. So he said sell at like 75. We're going to do an example here. Sell one at, but this would be like way in the money. We'll just say sell at 85. I think his example is a little outdated. He forgets that the price of the fund has moved very close to what Coach was originally targeting, 80. Now it's 85. Now he says 100. It's funny because a month ago he was like, oh, 80 is like outrageous. Now he's saying 100. So he's come around. Okay, so 84, sell to open. Then he's talking about adding another leg. I guess buy to open at like 80. And so this reduces because you're holding the put. It's recognizing it. It's like a synthetic. It's recognizing it as owning the shares, right? I think this is what like a leap. A leap, if you want to sell, you can sell, it's called a poor man's covered call. You can buy the leap and your broker recognizes it as owning the stock, and then you can sell covered calls against it. So that's a thing. So this is basically what he's saying to reduce your cost of your collateral. It's I'll say this, it's like a safer way of using margin, right? So I would do this. Oh, he's saying 70. Hold on. Low delta. Oh, why am I frozen here? There we go. Sell the put at 75, low delta, buy put at 73. All right, let's try that. I just didn't see much juice there. So he's saying 75 and then 73. I don't really see much here. What am I supposed to be seeing? So it's a net debit at this point. Are you going out further? Are you going out to like December? Maybe. Yeah, but that's $85 though. All right, so even 10 of them, $850. What if I do 20? I want to make like big bucks on these. I don't know. This is so far like in the money. Why not do 85 and then 80 and then 80? See the premium on that? At the mid. Yeah, we want to go at the mid, of course. All right, let's go back to what you said, 75 and then 73. I don't know. It seems like not much premium. I'd rather do it my way. I'm stubborn. I'd rather sell at this point. I'd sell at like 90 and collect like $40,000. So I don't know. Thanks for the idea. 500. Oh, holy! Who has that kind of money? Besides you, who has that kind of money? 500. God, wouldn't that be? If I could do five, oh my God! If I could do 500 on this, look at $1 million. Whoa, 500 contracts. Are you serious? Wow, I knew you guys were big bucks, but that's next level. Wow, puts it in perspective, huh? And to think they're following me on YouTube. Let's see here. I know it's just because of the good looks. All right, so we'll go to like August 22nd. He says go a month out at 75. So he's actually trading a lot more conservative than I am. I'll give him that. 500 contracts. Really? Like, are you doing this much? This is... Really? Are you kidding me? Like, this is blowing my mind here. No wonder you don't show like the dollar amounts of your trades. Oh man, this is like, I'm trying to, I feel like this has to be risky. There has to be a lot of risk in this amount of money. This is, oh my God, like I would retire tomorrow in one trade. So you can do this. Let me do this real quick. Not that I'm going to place this. Let me just see what my broker says. They're not going to let me do it because it's after hours, but I'm going to test this out tomorrow. No, see, look, it says you don't have enough cash available or buying power for this order. Translation, you don't have Piper's money, basically. Wow. All right, we're going to look further into this, but I've kept you all long enough. So thank you all so much for tuning in. ULTY is awesome. I am definitely feeling a lot better about it. I may even buy some more myself. So thank you all so much for tuning in. Like, comment, and subscribe, and join the Discord. Certainly follow our trades, and we will see you all in the next one. Take care. Have a great night. Bye.